Hey guys, it's Mike with Kiss Dog Training. We are back to answer another question that comes up on a pretty regular basis with our clients calling us, and it's about dog to dog arguments, okay? And the angle or the topic I want to talk about today is the idea of ritualized kind of behaviors in dog training, okay? And it's this fancy term for what's the best way to describe this? This is about the only time you will hear me use wolf pack theory in dog training as an example. So, if you had a pack of wolves, and let's say there were 10 wolves, and obviously they have to eat, so they have to hunt and they have to work as a unit to make the kill, bring home the food, and do all that good stuff. If arguments happened within the pack and the wolves would fight to solve that problem and a wolf got hurt, it would, from an evolutionary standpoint, hurt the chances of the hunt because now there might only be 9 dogs. Or if it was a big fight, maybe now there's only 8 dogs to go out on the hunt. So, the idea or the theory of ritualized behaviors would be that dogs will have a ritualistic fight. Now, to the untrained eye or ear, it sounds like the dogs are trying to kill each other. But in a lot of cases, when two dogs have an argument, one, it's very quick, and two, there's usually absolutely no damage. They'll go at each other, they'll be face fighting, they'll be doing all this, and they'll be trying to, they sound horrific, and then you pull them apart, and there's just wet, slobbery fur that you're dealing with. And what I would tell you is that that is not an accident. That is kind of an evolutionary skill that they have learned over thousands of years of we have to be able to have quote unquote a mock fight to find out who's in charge, but without hurting each other because later this week we have to go out on the hunt and we have to be able to do this. So, one of the things I always tell folks is if there's no blood in an argument, chances are it's a pretty normal kind of situation. Now, it's scary as hell and it sounds terrible, but if you have, a spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or even a work relationship that has gone on for a long time, and when you guys get into arguments, if somebody else could be a fly on the wall and hear some of the things you would say to each other, we might think you're going to kill each other. It might be F bomb this and F bomb that, and you can do this and you can do that. But 10 minutes later, those two individuals are fine. That's normal, okay? Now, abnormal would be when the dog is maybe going for a leg to flip the dog over so that we can go for a more important part of the body. A dog who's going for a throat versus just kind of teeth lacking. I always tell people the noisier a dog fight, usually the less serious it is. Or if you've ever experienced a silent dog fight, that's where they get really spooky because neither one of them are interested in anything but getting to the other dog. But that's abnormal. That happens in the exception, not the rule. Um, Now, by no means am I suggesting that you should just throw caution in the wind and let dogs just, fight and work it out if you don't know what you're doing. In a lot of cases, I think getting a professional dog trainer, somebody who works at a doggy daycare, veterinarian, rescue, to give you a good set of eyes that maybe have a little bit more experience. I will tell you that there's an incredible DVD out called The Language of Dogs, which we'll link to, which is about a 2.5 hour DVD or streaming video of just different kinds of dog body language that I think everybody should really get good at and start watching. But to the untrained eye, every dog fight seems really, really serious. And in most cases, it's just, hey, look, this is mine, leave it alone. Or you're pushing me too far and I'm trying to correct you. Um, or we're going to get into an argument because we're both teenagers and we want to find out who's in charge. And I'm not a big fan of the alpha dominance theory, but anytime you have personal relationships, you're going to have arguments. One of my favorites that I use with people or clients if we stick somebody who's a fan of Fox News in the same house as somebody who's a fan of CNN, chances are they're going to have an argument or two if they start talking to each other. The difference is we should be able to work it out, and it maybe eventually get to a point of going, probably just better we don't talk about that topic. And it's the same with dogs. So that ritualistic behavior, if there's no blood, if they're arguing, I still want you to get some professional help. I still want you to get some experienced eyeballs to look at it and give you some ideas. To me, it's more a case of, do your dogs have a really good um, redirection cue or a leave it command, where in the middle of it I can go, hey, leave it, and everybody breaks away, and I've got my house set up to where I can put you behind a baby gate over here, and I can send you to your crate, and I can give you guys a little timeout to kind of calm down. you know those are the things that you're going to use to solve most inner dog problems. It would also be valuable at that point to start working with you know create and rotate ideas. And here's the other aspect: you have to realize the more dogs you have in your pack, the more work it is. One dog is a lot of work. Two dogs is three times as much work. Three dogs is nine times as much work. Four dogs is 81 times the amount of work. It's an exponential growth pattern that, the more personalities you put in, the worse the arguments can be. I would also say that a lot of times it's the age of the dogs. I figured out a long time ago, for me and my lifestyle, 2 years between dogs seems to be that magic number for me. Where there's always a couple of younger ones that'll play together, one who's kind of the fun police who might be the adult dog, and we might have one geriatric dog at the upper end. But and I usually have between 3 or 4 dogs in my house, and if you do it that way, we have everybody kind of having a playmate, or somebody that they can relate to. But if you've got a 8 or 9 year old German Shepherd who's starting to have hip issues, and you bring a 6 month old lab puppy into the house that wants to play all the time and jumping on the other dog's hips, you're probably going to have issues, and they can get kind of serious, especially if pain or frustration or something like that are involved. But for the most part, realize that ritualistic display or behavior of the fake fight or the faux fight or whatever you want to call it, it's been called all sorts of things in dog training, is it's really not with the intent to hurt each other. If it's normal dog behavior, it's just, you piss me off and I'm letting you know. When we start getting into damage, I think it's a little bit more tough to see. So this is one that there's probably some questions. Please reach out, message us through Facebook, email us at info@kissdogtraining.com. It's a slippery slope, but I thought it was one that might prove something to bring out some conversations and some more questions that we can cover later. So this is Mike with Kiss Dog Training. I appreciate it. You guys have a great day.